Take it away, Andrea.
Okay, well, thank you. Bienvenidos. Hi, everybody. I'm letting people in. Okay, welcome, everybody. I'm Andrea Olatunji, and I'm very, very excited to co-host this event with Naive Reynoso, and we are 28 authors tonight here sharing different panels, having very, very interesting conversations, and talking about our books. So for being here, guys, you are going to have some exclusive discounts, and we're going to be sharing this link. It's a landing page that we're going to be sharing in the chat, so you can access all our Instagram handles, websites, and exclusive discounts for you for being here. We appreciate you, and we are happy that you're here with us today. So before we move into the panels, let me talk a little bit about the logistics. 1 second, please. I'm trying to admit everybody. All right. So please, unless it is your panel, keep your cameras and your microphones off. If you're not a panelist, keep your mics and cameras off throughout the event. You can post questions in the chat. The authors and I are going to be doing our best to answer your questions. Also, we'll be putting, as I said, a link to this landing page where you're going to be having access to all your all our books and discounts. And authors, please, let's try to be conscious of time. Our panels are 15-20 minutes, so let's be conscious of time so the event can flow nicely and we can allow everybody their time to present. All right. If you use any screenshots, if you share any pictures on your social media, please tag us using Latina Book Fair. Thank you, everybody.
Okay. So also, I just really quickly want to let you guys know that there's going to be 5 panels today. Panel 1, which we're going to start in a few minutes, in a few seconds, is new book releases. Panel 2 is Latino themed books in the classroom. Panel 3 is raising bilingual and bicultural children. Panel 4 is Disney books by Latinas. And finally, panel 5 is a Latina marketplace where you will meet 11 Latinas who will present their books in a really quick fire way. We're going to have 1 minute to talk about our book, to tell everyone where you can find them at. But all these books and all the discounts will be found in the landing page that we are going to be sharing in the chat. So without further adu, our first panel will be moderated by Andrea Olatunji. How do you pronounce your last name?
Olatunji. It's like Ola, Olatunji.
Olatunji. So take it away.
Okay. So I just posted the link, the landing page in the chat. We're going to be posting it again throughout the event. And let me share screen so we can move to our first panel. 1 second, please. Oh. Oh, no, this is not it. Okay. So we're going to move to our first panel, that is the new releases. We have 4 authors today, so I'm just giving them a minute to turn on off your microphones, and we're going to be chatting here in a sec. All right. So hi, ladies. How are you?
Hello. Happy to be here.
Welcome, welcome. So please introduce yourselves to the audience, say who you are, and tell us a little bit about your background, please.
Well, I'm going to go first. My name is Rainelda Calderon. I'm from the Dominican Republic. I am a obviously children's book author, bilingual, and I am also a librarian. I live in New York City, and I've been working in public libraries for more than 15 years.
Oh, wow. Amazing. I can go next. My name is Justenia Rios, and I'm also from the Dominican Republic, first generation Dominican. I'm an entrepreneur, and I own an educational center in Brooklyn, New York, called Little Lola and Tots. And yeah, I'm also an author along with my sister, who's not here today. But yeah, we authored our book together.
Hello, my name is Edith Ramirez. I'm from Puerto Rico. I'm a dietitian, an author, an entrepreneur. you can find me in all the social platform as Healthy People, Happy People. And then we are going to introduce our new books soon. So I'm so happy to be here and be a help and a service of everybody. Welcome.
Okay, wonderful. So you guys released a new book. Can you tell us a little bit about your book?
Oh,
What the
Giselle
title?
has to, Giselle Carrillo, we're
It
She
took
has
too
to-
long.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
One more. My name is Giselle Carrillo. I am an LA native, born and raised in East LA. My family is from Mexico. They are immigrants, and I wrote Courageous Camila in partnership with Naive. She was my publisher, my co-author, truly made a dream come true for me. And I actually used to be a teacher, a middle school teacher in South Philadelphia and then in South Central, and have transitioned from that career. That's a bigger story I'll tell at another point. But so nice to have you all here.
That's
Hola,
wonderful.
and hola, I'm Leticia Ordaz, and I'm so happy to be here at this Latina Fair with you amazing ladies. I started my own publishing house, Cielito Lindo Books, and I also authored several books. I'm coming out with my 4th book, and I'm excited to share bilingual books with the world. Thank you.
That's wonderful. So we have everybody now. I apologize, ladies. Sorry. Okay. So you guys have a new book, a new release. Can you tell us a little bit about your book? What's the title and what is the book about? We can start with, let's see, with Ivis. Can you start?
Okay, yes. Well, hello. I want to introduce to you. This is my 3rd book. It's called Flavor of Glory. This is a book and a food journal. It's my unique food diary. So as a dietitian, you know, one of my purpose is to help and motivate people to improve their optimal health and nutrition. So one of the things that I found out, especially after this pandemic, is that the people were frustrated because they are gaining weight and their health is now a priority. So then this Flavor of Glory is the tool that everybody needs to improve health, wellness, nutrition, and to become the best version of yourself. And this is through 12 sections that have talk about nutrition. One of them is food for brain power. Another one is Fiesta, that talks about how we can incorporate with our holidays and everything, the healthy nutrition. We have recipes, we have like a journal to see how much you eat. And then there is, with these, some stickers that you can find out. We're gonna do a new Facebook group called Flavors of Glory. So then you can find the book in Amazon, Flavor of Glory, and then we will be connected. And I think that this is going to make a big difference, and we need to make a revolution. So join us.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Yesenia, tell us about your book.
Hi guys, so my book is called Travel con Lola to la República Dominicana. My book is a Spanglish rhyming book for kiddos aged 3 to 8 years old. And it's for everyone. You don't only have to speak Spanish, you can also speak English. There's Spanish words that help you older kiddos easily learn through using context clues. And yeah, so the book is about, it follows Lola, a little brown, curly-haired Spanish Latina girl, to her summer with her grandmother in La República Dominicana, and through her experience with la comida y la música y su familia, you learn all about our culture.
That's wonderful. Wonderful. Sounds very nice. Giselle, can you tell us about your book?
Yes, so this is Courageous Camila. And I inspired a little bit by my own personal story. When I left teaching, I actually went on a massive personal transformation where I actually decided to get mentally and physically healthier. So Flavor of Glory. So I could have used that book when that happened. I call it my quarter life crisis. I learned to surf, I learned to do martial arts, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and I learned to skateboard. My story was featured on Telemundo, and Naive reached out and said, you know, this message that you have about little brown girls playing sports that we're told aren't for you is so important. And so we created together Camila, who is from Venice Beach and doesn't often go to the beach, doesn't really play sports. And she goes on this journey with her mother to unlock her courage. And I won't spoil the end, but she finds her courage a lot closer to home than she ever expected.
Nice,
Nice.
nice. All right. Leticia, let's move on with Leticia.
Hola, ladies. So glad to be here with you. This is my third book, Mr. Macaw's Paleta Adventure. It's a sensory book. And when I was little, I never found a sensory book featuring Latino. So this features two little Latino boys. Are you guys able to see me okay? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so it features two little Latino boys who go to Mexico and Abuelito's village. They discover a lot of things about their culture, their heritage, and they discover that Abuelito has a magical kite. So through the pages, they get to uncover and touch the sand and the clouds and the feathers and the ocean. So it's super interactive. And my whole point is for Latinos to start reading early. And I wanted to make sure that this wasn't a simple book, like one of my children's favorites when they were little was Pat the Bunny, but it's only a couple of words, right? So I wanted children and moms to be able to read more words. So it's an actual story. It features our heritage, and we all know it's so important because only about 5% children of color who are Latinos ever find themselves in a book. And so children should be seeing themselves represented. And we Latinas, only 5% of us, it's growing, it's almost 6%, write books or get their books published. So we appreciate your support and we hope that you will purchase our magical books for Christmas.
That's wonderful, wonderful. And Rainelda, can you tell us about your book, please?
Thank you. My book is called We the Dreamers, Nosotros los Soñadores, and it is bilingual, obviously English and Spanish, and it is the story of coming to the United States, crossing the borders from the eyes of a child. I was inspired by the Dreamers and how after they have come here in many ways. So we have this problem right now that they need to go back or they need to stay. So thinking about that, I wrote the story, and at the end, when you read it, you will decide how they come here, and you will make up you will make up your mind, and you will see you will reach a point, a decision, if they need to stay or if it is fair that they need to go. And it is for children from pre-K to 4th grade. And it doesn't have long sentences. I wanted to do short sentences to encourage reading. So children who are not proficient readers can also start reading because the words are very simple and repetitive. So they can also get into the habit of reading.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, for those of you who are just joining in, guys, this is our first panel, and these books are new releases. As you can see, we are a very diverse Latina group. We have authors from different countries and a huge diversity in the books, the ages, the stories, and the inspiration behind these stories. So I'm going to post here in the chat our landing page. In this link, you can access all the authors that are presenting today. Is 28 of us, and you can see, you can find there our websites, the exclusive discounts we are sharing with you guys today, and also our Instagram handle, so you can follow us and you can learn more about our journeys and our other books. Ladies, anything else you would like to say in this panel before we move on?
Thank you very much for having us here, and thank you everybody who's participating, who took their time to be here. I hope you consider this Christmas giving the gift of books to children. They are to be kept forever, and I hope our books make a difference and empower and enrich your lives.
Fantastic. All right.
I wanted to say thank you for everybody that is participating. It's an honor to be part of this group. And I want to encourage everybody that is watching that every single one of the authors on the books release is special. So take your time, definitely make the inversion in yourself because it's going to be worth it. Merry Christmas.
Thank you. All right. Okay, so we're going to move on to the second panel. Thank you so much, ladies. And this panel is about Latino books in the classroom. All of us participating in this panel are teachers. Aside from being authors, we're also teachers. So let me transition into this panel, and Naive Reynoso is going to be moderating. We have 5 books in this panel. So ladies, if you are in the classroom, books in the classroom panel, please join in. And Naive, you're moderating this second.
Okay,
panel.
sounds good. Can you guys see me or no?
Yes.
Okay.
Sí, se puede ver.
So, Andrea, if you can pin everyone on the panel and unpin, because I was doing that while you were conducting the panel.
Oh, thank you.
So just unpin everyone that was in the last panel and then pin all of the new amazing authors that belong to this panel. And I'm going to read out your names really quick. This panel is about Latino themed children's books in the classroom, a discussion about the importance of representation in the curriculum, how to use children's lit to teach diversity, content, etc. So we have Delia Ruiz. Delia, are you here?
Yes,
Okay,
I'm
let's pin
here.
you. Here, I'll just pin you. You're handy. We have Heidi. Heidi, are you here? Okay, let's unmute you and pin you. Cristina Sicard.
Sí,
¿Dónde
hola.
estás?
Aquí
Okay.
estoy.
A ver, I'm unpinning. Sorry.
I'm pinning people.
You're unpinning as well. Okay.
No, I am pinning the
Oh, okay. Cool. And then the last one is you. Oh no, sorry, Andrea. Olatunji, and then Maciel. Maciel, are you? Yes, there you are. Let me pin you. And then we have to unpin Evis because her removed pen. Okay, cool. Bueno, pues gracias por estar aquí. I hope I don't think I missed anyone. Here, okay. So this is about Latino themed children's books in the classroom. Most of you are teachers. Most of you are also authors of some, obviously you're authors because you're in this panel. So really quickly, I'll call your names out and I would like to ask you guys about why it's important to have Latino themed children's books in the classroom. And is that, you being a teacher or in the education system, is that what impulsed you or motivated you to create these books? So let's start with Heidi.
Hi, everybody. So my name is Heidi or Aide, and I'm from Tijuana, Mexico. And I'm actual graphic designer, and I'm focused in children's publishing. So I designed books for different distributors and other companies. And definitely it's super important, at least when I was growing up, I grew up in the border town of Tijuana. We didn't see a lot of visibility. Even when I was in Mexico, most of the programming or anything that was like related to reading, it was mostly like very Americanized. Even our icons were very Americanized. So when I was studying graphic design, I decided to do as my thesis, children's book, coloring book of Mexican icons. So I did this, and this was my college thesis like 17 years ago or more. It was in 2001, and it has grown into other things. But definitely that started as the lack of representation that I saw in even me living in the border town of Tijuana. So if I didn't see that even in Mexico, I can even imagine like brown kids, Black children in the States that they don't see the diversity that they need.
Thank you, Aide. Maciel, talk to us about your background. You're in the teaching realm, and you also, is your book out already or is it in the works? And I know you and I are also collaborating together on a teacher's guide, an educator's guide.
All right. So yes, my name is Maciel Zaragoza. I was born in San Juan, Puerto Rico. I've been in bilingual education for roughly 18 years as a Spanish teacher, dual language coordinator. I'm a doctoral student at the University of Illinois in Chicago, and my research focus is bilingual education. And basically, when students see themselves represented in books that they read in school, it allows them to develop a different narrative about themselves, a narrative that's free from a lot of common stereotypes, and it allows them to see themselves in very different facets. And I've also, one of the things that really compelled me into going to children's literature is because I feel that a lot of well, number one, there's a lack of representation of Latino children's literature, but even still, like a majority of children's lit only represents certain cultures. So for example, you see a lot of Latino children's books that are about Mexican culture, which makes perfect sense considering that Mexicans comprise of over 60% of Latinos in the United States. So we need more Latino books that represent the diversity of the Latino diaspora. So for example, as a former Spanish teacher, a lot of my former students were simultaneous bilinguals. There were students of mixed ancestry. Even my own children, my biological children, are children of mixed ancestry, Latinos of mixed ancestry. And that's what really compelled me to write my children's books. And the one that I'm promoting today is called Somos Gemelas, pero no somos idénticas, or We Are Twins, but we're not identical. It is a bilingual children's book that tells the story of twin sisters that are multicultural. They come from different backgrounds, and they're basically telling the story of how they are unique, and how when they speak Spanish is a mixture of like the Spanish that their mom from Venezuela speaks and their dad from Guatemala. So definitely my experience as a bilingual educator, as a mother to bilingual and multicultural children, and having students that are also a representative of the fusion of Latin America is what compelled me to write literature.
Thank you so much, Maciel. And all of these books are on the landing page that Andrea is going to be sharing in the chat and has been sharing. So go to the landing page and look up Maciel's book and all of our books. So let's go quickly to Cristina to talk to me about what's your educational background and why do you think it's important to have Latino-themed children's books in the classroom?
Hola a todos los que están aquí hoy. Thank you so much for being here. I am honored. So a little bit about my background. I'm from Canton, Ohio. If you're into football, American football, that's where the Pro Football Hall of Fame is. But growing up, all my family is from the Dominican Republic. So my brother Guillermo and me, Guillo, we really were the only Latino kids in our school, and very few in our community. But I always told myself, keep practicing your Spanish, keep practicing your English. Very confusing at the time, but I had this goal that I would become a children's author one day. I would be a Spanish teacher. So I'm trying to mix all those things that I told myself I would do because I want to help other people, other Latinos that might feel so out of place and feel so disconnected from their own culture. So now as a Spanish teacher, I actually just started this Spanish teacher position a week ago. So I'm looking forward to really incorporating Latino books. I was doing that. I was working at a library beforehand, so I was the first to do bilingual story time there. But now it is just an honor and something that I'm going to take very to heart, how I can incorporate more Latino books into the curriculum that we do here. So actually Harmony, my book here, he thinks a lot like I always have. He does not understand how his llama family could live in Peru. I did not understand how I could have ended up in Canton, Ohio, away from my Dominican family. So this is a book that is going to help so many kids and parents alike feel connected to culture, feel connected to their family, and to always be proud of whatever background it is that you have.
Thank you, Christina.
Thank
Her
you.
book is also available on the landing page, and hopefully we'll go through this quickly so we can have a conversation, all of us together, about Latino-themed children's books in the classroom. So we're going to go on to Delia Ruiz. Delia, talk to us about your background and your book.
Of course. Hi, everyone. Hola a todos. I'm just honored to be here with everyone today. I am a first generation Chicana born in San Antonio, Texas. And my background is as a former ESL teacher, so English as a second language teacher. And one of the things that I was noticing in the classroom is, I used to have a variety of students that were coming to the US for the first time, learning the language. And oftentimes, even though the students might have been in 4th or 5th grade, we would have to teach standards, at a lower level just to get them up to the reading stage. So one of the things that I would see is, we would have to teach them how to read, how to decode words, how to break up words into syllables. So that kind of brought about my reasoning behind writing my book, which is Rocky's Bandero Beat. It is a book that integrates music, so the Afro-Puerto Rican musical genre bomba y plena, but it incorporates it in an interactive way where students are actually clapping and tapping along to a repetitive phrase in the story that would enhance, teach syllables, and get them to decode words at a faster pace. So syllable learning is one of the first things that children are taught in the early ages in order to decode words and also spell. So it definitely brought about that journey to incorporate the culture, incorporate a content standard as well as a teacher, and then bring about just a beautiful story about immigration and then living out your dreams even when you move to a new place.
Thank you, Delia. And lastly, Andrea, you're also obviously a teacher and an author. So talk to us about your journey and your book. And then we'll have like a more inclusive conversation between all of us regarding moving forward Latino themed children's books in the classroom.
Okay, wonderful. So my name is Andrea Olatunji. I'm originally from Uruguay, and I taught English as a second language in Uruguay. And since I came to the United States about 20 years ago now, I've been teaching Spanish to different age levels, all the way from kindergarten to college. And I've been blessed to work in different school environments. I work in bilingual immersion schools, dual language programs. I coordinated the Department of Foreign Languages at a private school in Virginia. It was a K-12 school, and that gave me an amazing opportunity to collaborate closer with teachers, observe classes, and help teachers incorporate elements in the Spanish curriculum that would allow them to engage students better. And aside from what my fellow authors mentioned here, that yeah, definitely we need more diversity in our classrooms and curriculums. I think also that when we add elements, that the student can identify as part of their own race, ethnicity, culture, it validates the student. And therefore, the student would connect to the content in a different way. Many times, in school environments, we get obsessed with testing and skill development, and we forget that there's an emotional aspect also. These are little human beings that are growing up, and they need to be empowered and validated at that level. And in my personal teaching philosophy, I spend a considerable amount of time at the beginning of the year trying to know my students, their families, where they're coming from, their stories. And that gives me the tremendous insight in then modifying, tweaking my units, my content, so I can reach to them. And that's how I became an author. I was always trying to find resources, materials that would reflect that. And it wasn't that easy. So I decided to start creating my materials. I do also create educators' guides to help teachers implement these stories in the curriculum. And the book I'm presenting today is Guillo, El Armadillo. This is the second book in a series. The first book is Omar el Jaguar. So this series feature animals that are native to the American continent, from Latin American fauna. And Guillo embodies many of my students. I adore this book because when I see Guillo, I think of so many kids that went through my classroom. And Guillo is the typical, kid that doesn't fit. It doesn't go with the flow. It doesn't click with what teachers are trying to teach. Is that child that doesn't fit. So in the story, basically, Guillo goes through school through a whole week, and by the end of the week, he gets very frustrated that he cannot accomplish many of the challenges that the teacher proposes. So he discovers at the end of the story that he has a unique talent that other animals, most of the other animals don't have. So he gets validated then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Andrea, for that insight. And I wanted to ask all of you guys, what do you think is the trend? Because a lot of us that are here and a lot of the people that are attending do have bilingual children or want to teach their children Spanish. What do you guys think is the trend moving forward for the school system here in the United States? Are there more Spanish immersion? Are there more bilingual classrooms or less? Or what do you guys think the trend is? And also, because Sheila Valencia, who's listening, she's attending, she said, if we aren't teachers or in the school system, what advice do you ladies have for us to have more representation in our local school system? So whoever wants to take the lead on this question. What's the trend as far as bilingual teaching, and what can parents do in order to kind of incentivize schools to incorporate more bilingual or Spanish or even Latino themed books in classrooms?
I can start by answering that question as somebody who's doing research in dual language programs and their sustainability at the University of Illinois Chicago. I can say with certainty that there's been a boom of dual language programs, dual language immersion programs in the last maybe 15 years or so. Just even within the city of Chicago where I live, there's been an explosion of dual language elementary programs, which is a great thing. But then with that, there are a few implications about the sustainability, the long-term sustainability of those programs, and making sure that the schools are equipped with the resources that are authentic, that you have the staff, number of staff that's bilingual and trained in pedagogy and dual language pedagogy and that sort of thing. And then as these programs continue to expand, there's definitely a need for programs at the secondary level, because we want our children to be bilingual their whole lives. We don't want them to just be bilingual as children and then just be in a dual language program by the time they get out of 8th grade and then go into English only when they're in high school. We really want to foster that bilingualism their whole lives. So there's definitely a need for expansion of secondary dual language programs and more materials, young adult novels and novels and books that are engaging for children as they get older, bilingual books for children as they get older. So I would definitely encourage parents to really join committees at school to push for the value that research shows for these programs. There is a need for it, and there's the research that definitely shows the benefits of these programs.
Okay, anybody else want to answer that?
I can take from the side of me not being a teacher. I'm a graphic designer of children's books. So because I'm not a teacher, I team up with a friend that is Giselle Barret. She's a dual language teacher, and we created the Niños Book Fest in this bilingual festival here in San Diego, Tijuana. So what we did is I always ask her, what's the trend? What's the curriculum? So I can know and go to the different distributors, publishing houses, and give them numbers. Like, this is the numbers of that we need. And brown and black people read and they want representation. And these are the different types of ways that we can promote it, either in book clubs, authors visits, but always planting seeds in everywhere you go. I think that's the key, planting seeds in your local library, in your book clubs, in publishing houses, not only that publish only bilingual content, but other type of content. So it's always planting seeds in everything that you do. And I think because they're a little bit behind. So most publishing companies are behind. So we need to start asking and demanding that we need those books. Our children need those books. And I think one of the best parts to do it is team up with your teacher, team up with different publishing houses, team up with your school libraries. And if you're a parent, start demanding, I want this book in the curriculum, I want this book in the school library, I want the more author school visits and stuff like that.
Great.
I would say I just started my new job as a Spanish teacher, but beforehand I was working at the library. And I will tell everyone here that it is so valuable to go to your library and tell them those books that you want, request that, push for those Latino books, push for bilingual story times if they're not happening. A huge resource that I've used, anyone can check this out. This is called Once Upon a Cuento. And this is a fantastic resource, how you can incorporate bilingual story time in your own home. But like I said, to feel empowered to go to your libraries. I know that they really value that. And as we were talking about, like publishers are behind, libraries can be in some ways too. So definitely go to them, tell them your needs.
Also, somebody was mentioned here in the chat, author visits. If you're a parent, ask, the school to invite authors. Most of us here in this event today do virtual and in-person visits, and we'd be more than happy to visit schools. Also, author visits humanize books and stories. When kids see the actual author, they're fascinated to ask questions and to be validated. And I had many kids doing virtual visits, school visits, that they're like, I want to be an author, I want to write a book, and how do you put the book together? And it's a fantastic experience. And nowadays it's much easier to reach out to authors than it used to be a few years ago. Also, as a parent, if you are a parent that you want to have more diversity in your school, volunteer and ask the teacher to invite families to participate in different programs and events and come as guests and teach what they can teach in the classroom. It's always a way to open doors to families and connect with them and open conversations with the community.
One thing I also wanted to add is that us as a collective, we should also think outside of the box and reach out to, we do obviously reach out automatically to our community, but reach out to these high-end private schools that automatically have Spanish class and are teaching kids, the really rich kids Spanish, because they're going to want to buy your books and they're going to pay you top dollar to read. Because that's happened to me, where like a high-end private school here in LA reached out to me, hardly any Latinos, but guess what? They're teaching their children or their students Spanish, because those private schools, they kind of know that despite all of the criticism that sometimes our community gets for being bilingual, it's a valuable tool to have, to be bilingual, and especially learning Spanish. So we can reach out to those private high-end schools where tell them our fee is $1,000 and they will pay it for reading, or a virtual book reading. They'll buy a bunch of books. So and I think that's another way to go about kind of infiltrating the system, so to speak, to change it, because we know that speaking multiple languages is only benefiting society and our children. Does anyone else want to speak about curriculum and how to incorporate curriculum if there's resistance within this educational system that isn't already a Spanish immersion? If a school is just English only, how do you incorporate a bilingual book or bilingual education? Is it even possible, or do you do it very slowly? Anybody?
I can speak on that. So just from my end, I know, and then I'm just talking again from my experience, in our local elementary school, we would have our own sessions, our own professional development sessions, where we could kind of open the eyes to teachers that we worked in and just give them information about all the pros of just having representation in the classrooms, how our children need to be seen, and then they could also help spread the word. So in our school, we kind of started small within our school. We gave professional development to our local and small teachers within our school, and then they went out and branched out and spread the word. They helped us spread the word when we went to the board meetings, for example. We would speak up and say, we need more diverse culture. Where could we allocate funds to? And I would always speak that, books have the power to, lead to big discussions. And that was just one way that we did it in our local school system, but definitely advocating, attend those council meetings, attend board meetings, just continue to spread the word, because there's so much power in raising your voice and uniting and just letting the world know that you want these books and you want them represented in your school or in your local library.
Perfect. And then even if you don't, like I said, I think we should just also think outside of the box. And even if your school isn't Latino, it's important for other cultures to learn about a culture that's very predominant in this country. We're almost 20% of the population. And why shouldn't, for lack of a better word, an all white classroom learn about 20% of the population, right? Which is us, the Latinos, that we've been invisible for so long. So we have to wrap it up because it's 2:40. So if any of you guys have like a last word or a last thought, then we'll wrap it up and move on to the next panel. Any last thought or last kind of like zinger of this panel, Latino themed children's books in the classroom?
I'll say that if there's a curriculum in the books and there's some books that have a title in bilingual title or Spanish title, just double check with your the school board if they're written by Latinos, because some books are not written by Latinos. So just double check that with your teacher or your school board, just to see that representation matters. And when it's written by Latinos, you can see a lot of nuances that we understand, and that's very valuable.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, well, unless there's anything else, remember you can look at all of the different panels, books and the landing page that we are putting in the chat, and that we're also going to be emailing. But unless there's anything else, I think we can move on to the next panel, Andrea.
Yeah, okay. So this was a lot of fun, very interesting panel. And we're going to move on to another interesting conversation about raising bilingual children. So Naive, if you help me pin and unpin, I will move.
Sure, I will do that. I will do that. Okay. So do you want to, do you have the list so I can?
Yeah, I'm coming. Okay. There we go. Okay, so in this panel, we have Mariana Llanos. We have, can you see the screen in there?
I see your desktop.
Oh, okay. You don't see the screen? Okay. We have, one second, Mariana Llanos, we have Paji Soltis, Jessica Gonzalez, Lizaret Nisnevich, Maritere Velas, Sandy Sanela.
Okay, I'm pinning them right now.
So we have 6 books. And we're going to be moving on to this panel as soon as the authors transition. Remember, guys, we're posting our landing page on the chat where you can access all the information about authors, websites, Instagram handles, and of course, discounts, exclusive discounts for our books. This is an amazing opportunity to get some Christmas gifts. Books are always a good choice. All right.
Can you take out, yeah, because I couldn't. All right.
I'm pinning some people. Let's see. Okay. Right. Okay.
If any of you guys are on this panel and you don't see yourselves pinned, can you guys all see?
Make sure you turn on your cameras too. Yeah, so we see you.
Andrea, what do you see right now on the screen?
I see myself. Now I see Maritere. Yeah.
I don't see anyone. I see you.
You guys. One sec. Once you turn your cameras on, I'm able to see you. If not, it's a little difficult.
My camera is disabled by host. So yeah.
Okay, Jessica Gonzalez, I'm pinning you.
Okay, I can't find, I don't think Jessica, oh, that's who you were.
I have Jessica, yeah.
Oh, there, you got her, you pinned her?
Yeah.
Okay, And then we're just waiting for
Sandy, Maritere, Lizabeth.
I don't think Lizaret is here, so we're just going to move on without her. If you are here,
and Mariana Llanos.
Mariana, yeah.
I got you, Mariana. Please turn your camera and your mic, and we are in. Okay. All right, wonderful. So, well, there we go. Okay. Thank you. And thank you for you in the audience for your patience. We are 28 authors and we're doing different panels. So we're trying to transition as smoothly as possible, but hang in there with us. Okay. So this panel is about raising bilingual children. Welcome, ladies. I'm very excited to chat with you here on this panel. So first of all, please introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about your background with raising bilingual kids. Maritere, you want to start?
Sure. Hi, everyone. Thanks, Andrea and Naibe, for this amazing opportunity again, our second annual. I'm Maritere Velas. I was born and raised in Puerto Rico. I'm an author and bilingual parenting expert and mentor. I started this bilingual journey way before there were online service resources available because I was raising 2 children with 2 languages and 3 cultures, and I needed help. And I figure if I needed help, there were other parents out there. So from writing a newspaper column, I became the author of 4 books for parents, English and Spanish version, and 2 bilingual children's books. It was important for me that children today saw themselves in the stories that we've heard from other authors before, because my children didn't have that. So I'm super excited to be writing children's books. I think bilingual books serve a purpose not only for native speakers, but for monolingual parents that are today raising bilingual children. So thank you for being here and for your support of our work and our books.
Okay. Taji.
Hey, thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here. So my name is Taji Soltis. My background is, my family's from the Dominican Republic. I was born here in the United States, but Spanish was my first language. And now I have 2 children, a 5-year-old and a 1-year-old, and it's very important for me to pass on the language to them. So I am all about finding resources for raising bilingual children. You can see behind me, I have posters everywhere in my house in Spanish, TVs in Spanish, anything that I can do, because my household is 1 parent, 1 language. My husband only speaks English and I speak Spanish to the kids. So it is difficult, as Maritere said, when you're kind of doing this on your own. I'm in the military, so I'm away from my family. So I'm the only exposure that my sons get to the Spanish language. So thank you for having me.
Wonderful. Mariana, why don't you tell us about you and your background?
Hi, yes, I'm Mariana Llanos, and I am very happy to be here with friends. So, well, I am from Peru originally, and I moved to the United States when I was a little bit older. I had my children here in the States. So, and I began, well, I've always been a writer, but I began publishing in 2013. Funny enough, I started writing in English instead of in Spanish, which is my first language, because I wanted to adapt. I wanted to, be part of the culture. But my children at that moment, my 2 oldest children were already born, and there was some point when I decided that I needed to write in both languages because I wanted them to be able to have pride in where their parents came from. Me and their dad are from Peru, so it was very important for us that they kept the language and that they learned more about our culture and our background. We're always in touch with our culture, with Latino families and with Latino literature, and they are very proud. It is hard for them to speak the language because, when everybody speaks in English, it's super hard to be fluent, but they understand Spanish perfectly. And especially they love the culture, which is what I really wanted.
Very good. Very good. All right, Jessica, tell us about you, please.
Hi, yeah, so my name is Jessica Gonzalez. I was born and raised in New York City. Please let me know if I'm talking too fast. I have a habit of doing that. I was born and raised in New York City, but my grandparents immigrated here from the Dominican Republic on my dad's side, and my mom's side came from Puerto Rico. So my grandparents are from Puerto Rico. So I'm both. So yeah, and I am currently an educational mentor. I help kids tutor like them in their subjects at school, but I also help them apply for post-secondary opportunities such as university, trade schools, military applications, all of that. And I also do teach English online to people all over the world. So very exciting, love language. And I'm currently studying to be a speech language pathologist, and I want to specialize in the bilingual field because I think that it's very important for children, especially at such a young age, to retain 2 languages or 3 if they can. I mean, knowledge is infinite, and this is a great tool for children. So that's also why I did. Oh wait, am I supposed to show my book yet? I'm sorry. Yeah, so I did make my book in both English and Spanish as a way to educate the younger generation, but also to educate them on autism as well, since my book does focus on having a little sister with autism and a Latino family and the ups and downs that they go through. So I very much do believe that bilingualism is the way of the future. I think that it's super important to retain, especially when you're second, third, even 8th generation. It's really important to maintain those roots as well, when you're, especially when you're in America and you're adopting to being bicultural essentially. So sometimes it can be a little difficult. Sometimes there's words and different slang phrases that you learn, as I've traveled around South America and the Caribbean myself. And it's been a very interesting experience to really incorporate all of that into my book to kind of help children understand these different things. But yeah, awesome.
Okay. Wonderful, wonderful. Sandy, tell us about you, please.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me. I'm so happy to be here. My name is Sandy Zanella, and I'm also raising multilingual kids. I am Mexican born and raised. My kids were born in the US, and my husband is Italian. So we speak the 3 languages at home. It's been a little mix. We tried to do one pair in 1 language, but since my husband works a lot, I had to learn Italian as well. So I'm the one who's talking to them in both the 3 languages. Right now, my kids we live in Dubai, so they have Arabic and French at school, and they seem to be learning all of them pretty easily. So that's it's something that I find very important, as all of you said. Wherever you live, it comes with a culture and our traditions as well. So I think it is very important to keep our languages with our kids.
That's wonderful. Wow. Yeah, little kids are amazing. You know, they can learn whatever we expose them to. But when we have a language that is the predominant language, then we face some challenges. I'm a mom of a 6-year-old, and he's bilingual. And as a teacher and a mom, I get these questions all the time from parents, like, how can you do to allow them to keep them in the language? How can I do? I try to speak them in Spanish or, any language, and they refuse. Can you share with us what would be 2 tips that you can share with parents to help raise children in bilingual?
I can start. Well, the ideal situation would be to start as early as possible, but I think the most important thing is to make the decision that this is what the family wants. This is what mom and dad, or mom and mom, or dad and dad want to do, and develop a family language plan that includes the method to follow. Like Patty was saying, I use the same method. At the time that I use them, it wasn't called 1 parent, 1 language. Now we have names for these methods, and we have the whole approach and methodology. And I think that studying all the different methods and what works, because it's not a cookie cutter thing. Every family is different. Families have different circumstances. So keep that in mind when you are raising your children bilingual, and include all the people in this child's circle. You are going to need that support, and your child will need that support as well. And I always say, all the parents, be consistent but flexible, lower expectations, and just do the best you can every day.
Yeah, I'd love to chime in. One of the biggest tip that I have for parents who are raising bilingual, I'm still very new in this journey. Like I said, my kids are 5 and 1 years old and 1. But it's to not give up. It gets so hard sometimes. And especially when your kid tells you, I don't want to speak Spanish. They don't see the point in it. They're just over it. All of their friends speak English and like they get shy to speak another language because they feel different. But the biggest thing is to just keep at it. Tenemos que seguir, because we are passing something down to them that they're going to value. They may not see it now, but they will see it in the future. So that's my tip.
Well, I agree with Maritere and with Paji, and especially in the point not to give up. My kids are older than Paji's. I have an 18-year-old, a 15-year-old, and a 10-year-old. So they are past that age when I can make all the decisions, so they make some decisions on their own. But I think when I was consistent, since I was consistent when they were younger, for example, my oldest decided on his own that he wanted to speak more Spanish. And there was a time when he didn't want anything to do with Spanish, and it was a little bit hard for us. But then it came back to him. He had a lot of friends who were mostly Mexican in school, and they all spoke perfect Spanish. So he felt left out a little bit because he could understand, but it was kind of hard for him to speak. So he had to get on the trend with his friends, and he did it on his own. So it's also up to the kids at some point, but we are always behind them, offering them resources, books and movies and family gatherings and anything that we can think of. Music, for example, with my kids, we bond with music. I have a playlist on Spotify in Spanish, and that's how I learned English in Peru as well. So it was a lot of Beatles and a lot of Rolling Stones and a lot of music in English. So I do the same, but in Spanish, and so they can learn lyrics, and we can talk about meanings of idioms and things like that. And the last tip would be to, if we can, to take them to family trips to our countries, to different countries, immersion for, as much as we can. I just came back from Peru with my youngest daughter, and the first days she didn't know what, she couldn't understand people. Everybody spoke too fast, she said. And then when we were leaving, she was speaking only in Spanish. So, because they have it there in the back of their mind.
Yep.
Yes, so my tip definitely would be to encourage as much output as possible. Like in terms of like if the kid makes a mistake, or even if they sometimes sound a little funny, it's nice to kind of just say, I appreciate that you really are trying. Because sometimes I've noticed, because I've also worked with children as well who are bilingual and that English is their first language or Spanish is their first language, and they get a little insecure about how they speak when it comes to the other language. And it's so sad because they really want to learn, they really want to try. So in terms of that, my best advice would always be like, be that positive role model for them, because they need it. They need that reassurance, that positive reinforcement that, am I doing this right? It's like, you tried, therefore you are doing it right, because trying is better than not trying. Then you already failed if you didn't try. So that's a big thing that I've done with children. That's a big thing I've done with myself, is just keep going. Even if you make a mistake, just laugh it off. Life is short. You need to laugh more anyway. So that is my advice.
I would say also make it fun. Like, for example, for us, and it would be like, I'm trying, because Italian is the one that we speak less, since for me, it's Spanish, my first language. But I try to make Italian nights, and we cook Italian, we dress like, and we call family, and we try to make everything Italian that day. And so that way they can also get the culture. If there's a tradition that is going on in Italy, like in August, for example, they have this Ferragosto, which is like a very big summer fest. We do it. So I think for kids, everything is about having fun. And as Mariana said, resources, movie night in that language, books, everything like related to that, and have a lot of patience.
Yeah, exactly. Awesome tips, ladies. These are great tips. Yeah, some of the things that have worked best for me have been being consistent. Sometimes, as parents, we're like, oh, I want to speak Spanish to them, but then we switch Spanish, English, and then the kid gets confused. I have been speaking Spanish like only Spanish to my son. And the same when I have work in schools that are like immersion schools, some teachers have asked me like, oh, how do you get the students to just only speak to you in Spanish? Sometimes I even told them I don't speak English, and just the consistency, especially when the kids are young, it will work. All right, ladies, before we wrap up, can you tell us in 1 or 2 sentences the title of your book and what is it about? Let's start with Maritere. Let's start with you.
The book is called I Have a Secret, Tengo un Secreto, for all those parents out there whose child does not want to speak Spanish. This is the book. It was, the idea came from all the talks with parents, always telling me how frustrating it was that up to a certain point, their kids did not want to speak Spanish, like Patty was saying, and Mariana, they don't want to feel different. So there's a point that they don't want to speak it. So this is a little story about a little boy. He's Puerto Rican. He lives in the United States, and he learns a lesson about language and cultural pride. And the hero of the book is it's a teacher, because to me, teachers are an amazing role model for children. And I wanted her to be the one to teach Junito the importance of being able to communicate in more than one language. So there you go.
Awesome. Baji, what's your book about?
Okay, so my book is Volveré de Nuevo, I Will Come Back. I'm in the military, so I've spent a lot of time away from my son, including 9 months when he was 2 years old. He turned 3 while I was gone, and then I came home. So this came out of a lot of feelings that I had being away from my son. And I just wanted it to be a reminder to him that regardless of how far away I am or how long I'm gone, like I said, 9 months is a very long time for a kid, that I would always come back to him. So this is just my story to him to help children deal with separation.
Beautiful. Mariana?
Yes, well, the book I'm promoting in this festival, I have 12 books actually, but the book I'm promoting on this festival is this one, Kutu, the Tiny Inca Princess, La Ñusta Diminuta, which is a book in English, in Spanish, and also with some phrases in Quechua. As I told you, I'm from Peru, and I love digging into my culture, into the culture of the Andes. And for this book, I decided to incorporate some Quechua. I thought it was important to vindicate native languages as well. And perhaps we don't speak it, we don't understand it, but we can still value it and realize that it is spoken by millions of people in South America, and it's not a lost language. So in this book is about a princess who is the size of a cup of maize. So it's about overcoming obstacles and showing that it doesn't matter what's your size, you can do important things as well.
Amazing, amazing. Jessica.
Yes, so my book is called Luna Yes, Luna Si, and it's a bilingual book, in English and Spanish, of course, about having a little sister with autism and the ups and downs that come along with it. This is written from my own personal experience growing up, because I do have a younger sister with autism, and very much it's been a little bit of a journey to kind of teach her English as well as Spanish. So, and autism can be a bit of a roadblock, but it's not something that's impossible. And you really get to explore the relationship between two sisters and how they don't always need to say outrightly what they are thinking or what they're feeling to understand what each other are feeling, essentially. So I really did put my heart into this book, and I really do love it. And I really do think that it puts a smile and it makes people a little emotional with how I went on this route, because I went for a more bittersweet feel. So yes, feel free to totally get it. I'm very proud of this, and there will be more books as I continue working on it, just juggling a lot. But yeah, Luna Yes, Luna Si.
Wonderful. Sandy?
My book is Happy Yogis, and it's a yoga book with positive affirmations. I have a version in English and a bilingual version, English and Spanish. And it comes with the yoga poses and the affirmations and a little sentence to encourage kids. And the reason why I wanted to write it bilingual in Spanish is because Latin youth are far more likely than their peers to have mental issues, especially with our Latin community. I want to raise awareness in the stigma of having mental issues or mental health. And yoga and mindfulness helps a lot. And if we teach our kids to be mindful and do yoga from an early age, we can prevent them from anxiety, stress, and all those things that come with bilingual families, with immigration and all of that. So
amazing, wonderful, wonderful. All right, ladies. Well, we need to wrap up this panel. For the sake of time, we cannot go on. I mean, I will spend hours talking with each of these authors. It's 28 of us. So guys, if you want to know more about these authors, follow them on Instagram, know more about other books that they have written or what's coming. I'm posting the landing page here in the chat throughout the event, so you can have it. And also remember, for being here tonight, you're accessing exclusive discounts. These are amazing discounts. It's a great opportunity to do your Christmas shopping. Just chatting with us here, sitting, you just click and shop. Isn't that amazing? You don't have to go through any stress. And probably you're going to get faster shipping because we are all independent authors, and you know, the whole process it's just more personalized. All right. Thank you, ladies. It's been a pleasure chatting with you. We're going to move on now to our next panel. If you have seen the movie Encanto, we have here some authors that have written books for that movie. How exciting. So let me share here the screen. We're going to move on to Disney. There we are.
The pictures are not full screen. They're just thumbnails. Just
really?
FYI. Yeah.
Oh. I don't know what's going on. Let me see.
When you hit share, you need to share your whole screen. If you select only one thing, then we only see parts of your screen. So if you unshare and reshare, it should work.
Okay, let me see. Thank you for the tip.
Okay.
Now?
Yes, now.
Oh, all right, thank you. Sorry. Sorry, guys, it's too many things and too many buttons here to click. Okay, so we have 4 authors that have written books for Disney's Encanto. So while we transition authors, I'm sharing here the screen so you can see the books. So let's pin and unpin. Naive, help me here.
No, I pinned everybody already.
Oh, all right. Well, you're on top of things. Awesome. All right. So welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Okay, let me.
Hola.
I'm trying to remove some authors from the other panel so we can see you all.
Okay.
Okay, let's see. Jessica.
I thought I had removed everybody.
No, I
So
see.
just
I don't
me.
know you guys, but I see. Okay. Let me get you 1 minute, please. All right.
Next year, we're going to go a little more high tech. Okay.
Hopefully.
This year, we're like, but okay.
Okay. So welcome, ladies. Welcome. It's a pleasure to have you here. So this panel is about, oh, wait a minute. I'm trying to admit people. Some people are joining us here. All right. This panel is about Disney, and these authors have written books for Disney. So first of all, ladies, introduce yourselves and tell us your name and a little bit about your background, please.
Whoever wants to start.
Hi, how are you guys? Well, first of all, I want to congratulate and say thank you to Naive and Andrea because this event is awesome. It's the 2nd year in the making, and I think you're doing amazing. Not only is a fantastic platform for us outdoors, but also a service that you do to the community, to parents, to schools. So bravo. My name is Susana Higuera Martinez. I am a Colombian author living in Miami, Florida. I have children's books, literature, mostly bilingual, and also young adult literature, also for adults, and poetry.
Hi, everyone. My name is Luz Mack, and I am so grateful to be here. This is an amazing group of women. I've learned so much from you. I just want to say that. And I am Dominican. I was born in Dominican Republic in Villa Mella, and I grew up in Washington Heights in New York City. I'm the proud mother of 3. and I am a children's book author. I have some books that are bilingual and some books that are just in English. I write lo que me nace, right? What's born in my heart. So I do this for the importance of having an opportunity for our kids to see themselves. And I feel like that's why we all do what we do. We love it and we love our children and we want them to have an opportunity to see themselves. And also I animate with a team a lot of my work. So thank you so much for having me. And I'm just a proud author.
Hi, everybody. My name is Vicki Weber. I am Puerto Rican and I have 12 books. 10 of them are children's picture books. And I had to write based on my Taino roots and my background in music education. But even the stories that are not directly about my, culture and my heritage, I do try to incorporate as many Hispanic and Latinx characters as I can, because saying, when I was growing up, I couldn't pick out a single book with someone who had hair like mine or, who had experiences like mine. So I think it's so important that we not only have all of these bilingual resources and stories about culture and heritage, but also books where these characters just exist and where, Latinx children are the heroes and are the principals and are the, this whatever it is, they want to see that they can be those things. And it's so amazing to see such a great group of people encouraging that and being activists for that. So thank you for having me and thank you for letting me be a part of that.
Sure.
And my name is Naiva Reynoso. I have been a journalist for over 30 years, since the late 90s. I'm still a journalist, freelance, and I've published 6 of my own books through Con Todo Press and 4 Disney books that we will talk about. So I did 4. We'll talk about in the panel.
Wonderful, wonderful. Have you ladies seen the movie? You did. Okay, wonderful.
I'm waiting to see it because I thought it was going to be streamed and it wasn't. And we've been having a hard time getting to the theater, but I'm going to see it when we go to Big Bear. So I'm excited.
All right, all right. So why don't you tell us the title of your books and a little bit about what they're about, just in a couple of sentences. Susana, you start.
Okay, so again, being a Colombian author, for me, this struck like a wonderful thing from the universe when I got that email, and I thought it was a scam because, oh my God, why would just, it's impossible that I'm getting an email from Disney. I had to Google the lady, LinkedIn, everything to make sure that it was a real thing. I even asked her, why me? And it was great because I think big companies are starting to understand and doing the right thing that is needed everywhere in every part of cultural and even products. I mean, you need to be inclusive. If you are not jumping on that boat, on that train, you're not doing anything correctly. So the fact that Disney is opening this mind of them and being also so important for kids and grown-ups, because we all love a good Disney movie, right? The difference now is that, like Vicky was saying, now we can see ourselves, not only the color of our skin, the way we speak, our accent, good or bad, the food, also women are the heroes now. We don't need to wait for the Prince Charming to save us, coming in a beautiful horse. No, we can just take it the world just by ourselves, and our power doesn't have to be anything crazy or out of this world. It just have to be what we have inside and the magic. So the book that I wrote is called El Don de una Familia, The Gift of Family, and is the first, and I hope many more bilingual book by Disney. And this is inspired obviously in Disney Encanto. I am so thrilled that has so many stickers. I'm I think I bought 10 just to peel the stickers and put them everywhere. And then obviously I see in the Nile that my name is there. And it's beautiful, the fact that we can have our language first, Spanish, goes first here, and then English. And then we can share this with our kids, in our family. This book in particular, if you've seen the movie, you don't have to worry. There's no spoilers. Here is basically what everyone knows about the movie, which is you have this beautiful family, the Madrigals. They are living hidden in the mountains of beautiful Colombia. And now everybody in the world can see that Colombia is beautiful. It's beautiful, and it doesn't have like perfect cities. And yes, there's still a lot of situations that a country need to improve, right? But we are proud, and we are happy to show how beautiful our land, our geography, our music, how diverse is the colors of everyone's skin in Colombia, because not everybody looks the same. Not everybody speaks or dances the same or eats the same food in different regions of the country. And the fact that we can now show that to the world, and it's getting normalized and respected. Because I think what they did correctly also, Disney, in this, is that they took this matter seriously of representing and doing the cultural approach with responsibility. I think that was one of the most beautiful parts of when I was learning about the project and reading the scripts and watching everything, kind of like behind the cameras. I was just amazed and so grateful to see that they were researching everything from the texture on the earrings to the feelings, and it was just beautiful and amazing. So yeah, El Don de una Familia basically is Mirabel Madrigal, the only one with no gift in the family Madrigal, sharing with the readers that what's a day in casita, specifically a day where her cousin Antonio turns 5 years old and is about to receive his magical gift. And then she's showing how everybody in her family is magical and special. And then in the end, again, this has no spoilers. In the end, she's just, look, an arepa. And I'm sorry, my friends Venezuelans, but it's a Colombian arepa. And then in the end, Mirabel is just dreaming and happy for the day that she's gonna find her own magic and her own gift and her own encanto. So bilingual.
Awesome. Well said, Susana. Let's move on to Vicky. And please tell us if your book is available in Spanish, English, or both. All right, Vicky.
Hi again. So I just like Susanna, I got the email and was like, this is like a Prince of Nigeria email. This is not a real thing. Nice try. You're not getting me. And then I like sat there and thought about it. I'm like, well, I should at least look into it, right? So I did the exact same thing. I was Google searching like crazy. And by the time I realized that, oh, this is a real thing, I'm like, oh, okay, then let's dive in. And I definitely agree that it was absolutely incredible to see the amount of detail and research that I think the thing that stood out to me was how much research they did on just like the roof lines for not only casita, but they did so much research on what the roofs, and that to me was just like a very good indication of a very good snapshot of how they treated the entire movie and the characters and the culture. It was really exciting to be a part of. I wrote one of Step Into Reading books. So the Step Into Reading books are designed for children who are learning to read on their own. So I did level 3, and Luce, I believe you did level 2. So level 3 is for kids who are actually reading on their own. So it's a little bit more of, complex sentences, but for the most part, it was kind of like a puzzle, because you had to take all of the magic of the movie and pay attention to language and structure of sentences that children read at that level on their own. So for me, it was actually a really cool experience to bring the movie to life in such a way that the children could enjoy themselves. Of course, parents could read it as well. But I think there's something so empowering about the ability for them to see a movie and then go read a book about it themselves instead of relying on somebody else. And I think the core of this book especially is Mirabel's discovery, you know, and what she discovers not only about herself, but about family and relationships with her family, and how not everything is how it seems on the surface. Not everybody is what you assume when you look at them. And I think that there's so much power behind the mentality that there's more to what you see than just what you see. So there's just a little. Yeah.
Love it. Love it. Luz, what's your book about?
Hi, everyone. So my book is Family is Everything, and it is the Step Into Reading Level 2. And I have to admit, and I'm going to sound like a little fangirl, but when I got the email, like, hey, we want to welcome you to this opportunity to write this book, and I had the meeting, I kept singing Disney songs in my head. At one point, I had to be like, shut up. Like, they're going to think you're like not an adult, right? And it was so funny. I'm not going to say the person's name, but they actually could tell I was thinking something. They're like, hey, is it okay? Like, or like, she didn't say, are you distracted? But you're like, what do you think? What do you think? Because I was like trying to hide my emotion. I'm like, I'm so sorry, but I have to just do this. And I'm like, let it go, let it go. I start singing, let it go. And I start like, it's Disney. I'm so excited. I'm like, yes, effing yes, hard time. Yes, I really enjoyed this. And it was amazing and an amazing opportunity to be myself, my genuine self, talk about my love for literacy, right? Connect in that level, and then have the opportunity to read the story in a way that a lot of people didn't get that kind of like a chance to see that development of how a story is brought to our kids, and it just brings so much wonder, right? So I was geeking out, so I'm gonna just come out and say it, but I love the opportunity to be my genuine self while I was learning the process of how they make the magic happen. So one of the things about this book, and I'll be very brief now, it's about, of course, Mirabel, and it really focuses on the family as a whole, meaning like why everyone is so special. They talk about her sister. There is a lot of the book that is shared in the story. So I'm going to try not to spoil it for those who haven't seen it or only know certain parts of the movie, but it's really focusing on the Madrigal family, their special abilities, and Mirabel not feeling so special in the family because she doesn't have any powers. But I think what I really like the most is like while we help kids kind of like see these connections, is bringing it back to the family, bringing it back to like we are a unit. Everyone's unique in their own way and their love. So the book really concentrates on the family as a whole and kind of like lets everyone know where everyone's at, and it brings it back. And it does share a lot of the movie, so I don't want to spoil it for people. But I think one of the good things about doing this process was kind of learning as a writer, when you write, you just write your heart out and then you edit. But for these kind of book structures, you kind of learn kids are just barely learning to hold a sentence together and understand it. So there's a lot of decoding that's happening. So we can't have more than, I believe it was like more than 25 words in a page or something like that. And it kind of really helped me as a writer understand like, oh, for early literacy, if it's too heavy worded, they're not going to get it. So you want to like kind of like break everything apart. So you're just giving them the essence of what the story is. So they could capture that, they retain that, and they learn. And as the child continues reading and enjoying the experience, they also have these beautiful images that a lot of see in the book. And I think one of the things I love the most is Abuelita. You see, like that costume is just so rich in culture in so many ways. And you could tell Disney really put their heart into their research, because every family member stood out and they represented the culture in such a unique way, from their attire to where their hair was styled, to the bows and everything from La Casita, like Vicky shared. So to me, that was just an amazing thing to experience.
Wonderful. That's good to hear, because it's always, a concern when they're going to portray some culture in a movie or a book. It's like, okay, what's coming? So it's really nice to see that, you find the elements genuine and true to the original. Awesome. Naive.
Okay. Hi. So, I remember when I got I got a phone call and it was very like ambiguous. Like I didn't understand, like it was one person that kind of worked with another person that worked with another person that's saying like, oh, do you know it was kind of like, I didn't understand really what they were asking of me. And then finally, when we got the ball rolling and then I understood what they wanted, because it just wasn't really clear when I first got a phone call. And then when they're like, we want you to write the little golden book of Encanto, the adaptation. I remember I was on my bike crying, like I was literally crying on my bike, on my peloton, I'm going to say it, Peloton. Just like tears of, because I think as self-published authors, we work so hard and we don't get all of the recognition that we do get. It's like recognition that we are asking and begging the public to give us, that we're, self-promotion, marketing that we are doing on our own. We don't have a big publisher behind us that's giving us that platform to shine. So when they kind of validated me as a writer and gave me this opportunity, I just felt like, oh, wow, like someone outside of me is giving me this kind of like the seal of approval, right? I'm a legit author now, because I'm not that we're not legit if we're not published by a big publishing company, but I just felt validated, and to be validated by Disney, hello, Disney of all companies. And a lot of times the philosophy that I use for my company is Disney's philosophy. Is like, I'm so inspired by his story, by how he started. He was broke. I've seen his documentaries of Walt Disney, and I really do use that for my own, to kind of move forward when I feel down, when I feel defeated, when I feel, who knows, maybe one of us will grow as big as Disney. We never know, because he didn't know he was going to grow as big as he did. So it was very symbolic for me, because his philosophy really is something that I use, like I said, to move forward. So I wrote this one, and then they're like, oh, do you also want to write another one about Antonio? And that's, and it's incredible because they included my little biography in the what is this called? This page, what do they call it?
The jacket.
The dust jacket. And then when I walked into Barnes and Noble with my son the other day, and I posted it on my Instagram, because he loves that Barnes and Noble, and we live close to it, so we'll stop by sometimes after school. And these were literally just sitting on the shelf. And I walked in and I was like, and the two workers were there, two Barnes and Noble workers were like just walking around the kids area. I'm like, those are my books. Oh my God, I'm the author. And then they're like, really? Do you want to sign them? And I'm like, yeah. They didn't even bother checking to make sure I could have been a crazy person. So anyway, I started, I signed a bunch of books. And then I told the guy, I told, there was a girl and a guy, I'm like, can you record this for my Instagram? And he's like, this is my first day on the job. It's going to be a very memorable first day.
So awesome.
That was cool. And then I got a call shortly after working on this other company that licenses Disney characters to do the magnetic kind of fun activity version. So I did that one, but I don't think they put my name on this as an author. So if you look it up on Amazon, I don't think you'll see my name, but I wrote it. And then I also did it for this book with microphone. And this one was really special because as a journalist, I'll just be really quick. I started as a cheerleader, as the one that did the microphone. I was always very shy. And for some reason, my voice projected. And in high school, the very shy girl became the yell leader for cheerleading. So microphones for me are very symbolic because I feel like that's the way to amplify our voices. So I was the yell leader. Even the logo on my cheerleading was a microphone. I went on to be a journalist where we use our microphone to amplify voices. And then when I did this, you know, it gives you prompts. And one of the prompts is, this is your moment to be heard. What do you want to tell the world? What makes you special? And that message is connected as part of the movie, but it's also my message to like the world. Whenever we write about kids, it's like we're amplifying their stories, we're making them visible, we're echoing, you know, our community. So anyway, these are the 4 books that I did. And yeah, I mean, it's awesome to be published by Disney. And it, like I said, it just validates us as self-published authors. So that way, when we move forward our own books, we can we have that seal of approval. Not that we need it, but sometimes in society, we need to like prove to other people that don't believe that we are, you know, warriors and we're champions and we deserve to have everything that we do and have the, you know, the platform. So anyway, that's my spiel. Muchas gracias por invitarme a este panel, even though I co-organized it. So I don't know what I'm talking about. Anyway, that's all I got to say.
We all have different hats, right? We all wear different hats.
I'm like, gracias. Wait, I invited myself.
Oh my God. Guys, I'm truly moved just, you know, hearing all of you, you know, all these books, all these stories behind the stories. And it's really moving. I mean, I could be chatting with you forever. And we were talking before in previous panels about, you know, validating and empowering children in the classroom and home, diversifying bookshelves, and, you know, just being part of this community of independent authors. Yeah, I know all the work that we put, they row in the boat every single day, and to get validated by a company like Disney, I mean, it's not anything superficial. I mean, it's like, wow, you know, and it's an amazing opportunity for you as Latina authors to open the door and to, you know, push us in there. You know, this is fantastic because it's a huge platform. And at the same time, I mean, it's like a whole chain, you know. At the same time, kids are grabbing these books and they're like, oh my God, arepas, oh my God, this looks like my abuelita house. So, you know, it gives me goosebumps, really. It's amazing. So congratulations, this is awesome. And I want to hear about your other books. And tell us briefly, for the sake of time, please just briefly tell us about your other titles and how has this opportunity impacted you as an author and your careers?
Well, no. Now I have time. Now you're
okay.
Gonna everybody was
us, guys. Be patient.
Yes, exactly. You don't have anything else to do. It's Sunday.
It's just too much good stuff to share. And
exactly.
I'm sure the landing page again here in the chat.
Definitely. To add to what you were saying, Andrea, yes, and also Naive, the validation. It's just the reinforcement in your heart that you're doing the right thing. And I was writing in the chat is that you get this feeling that, okay, then that effort that I was putting last week of doing these posts on Instagram, of being present, of sending the newsletter, or going and sending those books signed, or going here and there, that is exhausting sometimes because it's just us that most of us have jobs. And now I work an 8 to 5, and I volunteer, you know, Andrea, for a nonprofit organization that also requires my time. I'm a graphic designer, and I have ADHD, so I want to do everything. And yes, I actually do everything, and it's exhausting. But someone is looking, someone is paying attention, that you're doing the right thing, that you're doing something that you love, that you have a good message. So just keep it up, keep going. So bravo to everybody that is here, that is not in this panel, but is in a different panel. You guys are amazing. Keep doing, keep dreaming, because it's proven that we can live our own fairy tale here, right here. As Colombian, I'm also getting a little overwhelmed some days with the attention that I'm getting from my country. Now it turns out that, oh, Susana, Colombiana, you
National
are really
pride,
now.
of course.
Exactly. And I wrote actually in this book, this is one of my young adult and adult books that is called Lo que escribo en la arena. It's a collection of short stories. In English is What I Write in the Sand. And it has a little subtitle that says Cuentos y otras cosas que se olvidan. Stories and things that you forget. This was written between 2018 and 2019, early 2020. One of the stories, because everything is fiction here, one of the stories is called Lejos and Far Away, and it's kind of like my journey as an immigrant. I mean, I was an immigrant from a little girl. I've been here only 16 years, only was a lot, but 16 years, but I was also an immigrant growing up because I'm from Colombia, but I grew up in Ecuador. In Ecuador, I was an immigrant. Even though I had the nationality, I have citizenship, I was doing great in school. I know geography and history of Ecuador better than I know my own Colombian geography and history because I studied there, and I was still the outcast. I was still the one that didn't belong. Where are you from? And I would go to Colombia, and because of the accent, where are you from? It's difficult. That answer is difficult. And in one of these relatos stories, I finished it with talking about that if it's necessary to go so far to pick up the ending, the results, right? And then you don't understand now the pages of that newspaper that you were reading back then. You go back and now you are like, okay, what's going on? Even the politics, you want to pay attention, but you are in so many places now. And then I'm talking about how I want to go back to Colombia, but probably not physically, but to change it one verse at a time. I wrote that in 2019, and I got the call, the email late 2020. And now I'm in the pages of the newspaper. I got a whole page in a newspaper in my hometown. And it's crazy. But yes, I started writing poetry forever, since I was a little girl and a teenager. I published my first poetry book recently, 4 years ago, after writing all my life. It was just in the closet of the poetry world. And then I decided to just go at it. And then it started as a personal project because I just wanted to see how it felt, that something that I've been doing all my life. Okay, let's see how it looks in a book. For me, maybe for my coffee table. And then it became my first published book, self-published. And then obviously started my journey as a writer. I published my first book of the series, Lala the Lizard. Lala the Lizard, it's a very important book for showing kids and families, because these children's books, guys, are not only for children. Adults, we need to learn, we need to read, and we need to pay attention, because these messages are not just for the kids. We need to learn. In this case, Lala is a lagartija, a lizard that is vegetarian. She doesn't eat insects, and her best friend is a spider named Ari. And then in this journey of feeling that she doesn't eat the same as her family, his friends, and lagartijas, lizards, she's not going to be accepted and understood because of her differences. And she runs away, and she finds out that she learns basically that if everybody was the same and like the same things, this world would be really boring. So because of that, the book won an award as most inspirational children's book in International Latino Book Awards, and also a 5-star reader's favorite. It became a series in this year. It was supposed to be 2020, but came out this year, the second book in this series, that is called Lala and the Pond by the Rock, Lala y el Charco de la Piedra. In this book, Lala is basically introducing a new character that is a fish named Oscar, and Oscar is showing Lala and Ari, the spider, that the pond is contaminated and full with debris and plastic and trash. And what Lala is starting to teach us here is that it doesn't matter that you are the size of an insect, you can still do great things. So she calls everyone in the garden and the pond, and everybody pitches in to work together and clean the pond and help the community. So I am excited just to write, and I write it bilingual. I published in bilingual just also because I want to keep Spanish alive all the time and try to preserve it as much as possible now that I'm here in this country. And I know the struggle that families have of okay, English, oh my God, the kid needs to learn English quick. But trust me, the English gets here. What leaves is the Spanish. So you have to keep it in the family. You have to keep it in your library. And then I talked about this book. This is in Spanish as well. And obviously, Encanto. It's 5 books now. Thank you so much.
Susana, congratulations. Awesome. Luz, you want to go on?
Hi, so I started, my first book was a poetry book. I really don't share it because I was really scared as a writer, as someone that was passionate about writing, and it was all in Spanish. My first language is Spanish, so for some reason I found it easier, like it flowed the story out of me in Spanish. And then I started with this book, Pequeña Maria, and this is the character. I wanted to show the face of the character because now there's 3 books of her, they're bilingual. And the reason I started writing this story was because I wanted to feed my inner child, meaning like I had this huge craving of showing my kids how important it was for them to be themselves and to see, like, to embrace their beauty of who they were. And I wanted to write a story about how was my life growing up in Dominican Republic. They haven't had the opportunity to go to my hometown in Dominican Republic. Even if I were to take them, it's very different. So that's one of the reasons I started writing the Maria books. Currently, I have around now almost 13 books. That's including being a part of the Encanto Family is Everything book. And all the books that I've written, they're all of different, like they all have different messages. But to me, the thing I like to concentrate is how can I challenge myself to show myself who I am as who I was and who I was thinking as a child, and how can I bring in the message home of culture, highlighting our language, highlighting how we look like in a book. So that's where I come, like that's my thought process when I keep writing, and how can I make these messages relatable? Because I feel like even though books, they share so much of the author's world. Every time an author writes a book, we're sharing a piece of us. So I feel like every time I wrote a book, it was showing that message of who I was. The Maria books show my life in the Dominican Republic. A lot of people might have not known that, but the little girl running barefoot with her hair all wild, that was me as a child. And to me, that was so important to show that, and to show my perfectly bilingual self, that I think in Spanish, that I think in English, that I think in Spanglish, that I think about it, you know? And that's what I wanted to bring in. And Natalie the Brave, which was a book that in some cases, a lot of people found it hard to believe. I grew up Mormon. I grew up learning sign language with my sister. She's hard of hearing, and she knows sign language. And I wanted to show the message of something that really happened with me and my sister. My sister's younger. I was scared of the dark, and I really thought monsters were going to eat me. So my little sister used to say, "Don't worry, I'll fight them throughout the night, and that's how I'm going to protect you." So I wanted to show her, being the heroine that she is. Now my sister is a policy officer for the city of Newark, and she builds parks. She fights different monsters, but she's still my hero. And I wanted to do something for my daughter. And the book, Natalie the Brave, one of the great things about kids learn sign language in certain words. They learn the words monster, they learn sibling, you know, it just showing my world again. Each book has a different message. My latest book is Lalita's Prayer, and it was because I was a late talker when I was little, and my parents worried about that. So they prayed about it because they were really concerned if I was going to have problems being a late talker. And it made me think about how prayer was so meaningful in my life because of the example I saw my parents show. One of the reasons I didn't do it in Spanish was, like I said, yo escribo como me nace. I write how I feel and the emotions that are brought up to me. And I could tell you about each of my books, but I don't want to take up too much time. They all have their unique phase. If you guys want to know the craziness of why I wrote them, I'm happy to share offline. There's also animations, because I really believe education doesn't just start with the book and end with the book. It should also be inspiring content and culture in the content we consume as children and adults. Well, thank you.
Thank you, Liz. And remember, guys, we are you can access all the information about all these authors, books, websites on the landing page. So click on the landing page and have a look so you can learn more about us. Vicky, can you tell us about your book?
Yeah, so I have 12 books, and I could probably talk, but I will try to be brief. We have really great authors to hear from. So the majority of my books are musically based, because my background is in music education, and ESL, which is, English as a second language. So I won't talk too much about those, although they do have very diverse characters and a lot of really great social emotional components that all kids can relate to. But I'm also the author of Taino Tales, which retells Taino legends, the indigenous people from Puerto Rico. So the sequel to this one actually releases in January. So this one is The Secret of the Hummingbird. And then in January, The Legend of Coqui will be released as well. So with this book, my biggest goal was awareness, and keeping those legends alive, because there are so few books out there about it. And in the back, I even have Taino tidbits that actually teach children who don't already know about the Taino people, just some things about the culture in general. My book that you on the landing page for a discount with free shipping is called Ginger Snap Snatcher. And it is all about 3 siblings. Their abuela makes cookies, and they're all day long at school. They're thinking about them. They come home, they're gone. So they go on this adventure around the house to figure out who took their cookies, and you will be surprised with who it is. So this one releases on December 7th. So it's not published yet. So if you order today, you can probably be one of the first to get it, even before anyone who orders on publication day.
Awesome. Congrats. Congratulations. Naive.
Really quick. So my newest book is Courageous Camila, a story about finding your inner warrior, about a Latina who goes into jujitsu and kind of wants to discover other non-traditional sports. And it was, I co-wrote it with Giselle, who you guys heard from earlier today. And it's just kind of like a way to encourage little Latina girls to also don't be intimidated by anything. Don't be intimidated by sports. Sports really, when you engage in sports from an early age, it doesn't matter if you don't have plans to go into sports professionally, it really does help with so many different aspects. And I really just wanted to encourage the Latino community to, to encourage their children, especially girls, to explore sports. And you can find all about it and hear all about it and listen to all about it on the landing page that Andrea has been sharing in the chat.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, thank you, ladies, and congratulations. Your stories and your books are amazing. So we're going to move on to our last panel, last but not least. And this is a marketplace where you can hear from about 10 Latinas, maybe 10, 11 Latinas. They're going to be, they're going to be sharing about themselves and their books. So let's move. Let me share the screen here so we can transition authors. And
okay. Yeah, so everyone that is in the marketplace, please log on, or not log on, but please, Andrea, if you can help pin them. So we have in the marketplace, we have Christine Osoria, we have Natalia Sepulveda, we have Ivis Ramirez, Tania Montas Paris, Candice Pedraza, Lulu, Elvira, Yesenia, and Elizabeth. That's all that I have on.
Natalia, did you mention Natalia? Yeah, Natalia.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Wonderful.
All right. So this panel is kind of like, wait, Susana's not in the panel, right?
I'm coming.
And I think
I'm coming.
not in the panel. Okay. Who
Who
else? Who else are we missing?
Candice, I'm bringing your name one at a time. Natalia, there you are. Lulu. What am I missing? Elvira, there you are. Tania. Christine. Okay, I think we are all in.
I need to pin them though. They're not pinned. So I'm adding a pin. Who else am I missing? Tanya, can you add the pin in the little, you know how to. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm just adding a pin to all of our different, okay, so Evie's. So I look them up in the participants and then I put add pin, okay?
Elizabeth Balaguer, are you here, Elizabeth?
Yeah, she should be here.
I don't see her.
Yeah, I see her.
Oh,
I
okay.
just, okay, awesome.
All right.
All right, everyone. So this is a really fun, if I'm missing anybody, please write it in the chat. I think we have everyone. This is kind of a fun one because we're just going to do like a real kind of like, you know, you have 60 seconds to sell yourself, to sell your book, to introduce yourself, anything that you can say about you, your book. We all know that you can find your book on the landing page. So I have a 1-minute timer here. So I know Lulu has to leave soon. So I'm going to start with you and I'm going to start the timer. So please unmute whenever it's your turn. I think you're still muted, Lulu. Okay, without further ado, so we have all of these wonderful panelists that hopefully you guys are all seeing on screen right now. We're going to start with you.
I'm sorry, I don't see Elizabeth. She was having problems with her camera. Do you see her? I don't see her in my screen.
Elizabeth
Balaguer.
No, I asked her, I pinned her.
Elizabeth, I hope your camera works now. If not, maybe you can just join in without the camera and we see what we can do from here. But
yeah, I asked her to start video. I pressed the button that says ask to start video.
Oh, okay, I see her. I see her.
Okay.
Right.
Are we missing anybody else? Let's see. Look at the chat. Speed date with books. Yes, very good. On a speed date with books. Okay, so we're going to start with Lulu. Talk to us, tell us who you are, your name, and your book. Okay, ready? Go.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Lulu. I am very happy to be here with everyone. It's been so great listening to all of your stories and listening about your books. My book is Esperanza and Friends. I self-published with the help of great Naibe. And thank you for that, Naibe. And I wrote a book based on Esperanza. And she is someone who is dealing with self-love and self-acceptance. And so the book is based on her story and her becoming friends with the reader. It's an interactive book where she is teaching the reader how to journal, talking about color therapy and different type of things like starting a club at school that will help her be inclusive and, you know, diversity and everything. So in the book, the reader can actually borrow pages from Esperanza with journaling. She provides some coloring pages for them to learn how to use coloring as a therapy and all these different strategies. I'm a first grade teacher, so I wanted to incorporate the idea of teaching them, you know, all these strategies on how to deal with their feelings in a positive way, rather than keeping them growing up and dealing with them in a negative.
Okay, so the timer rang.
So you can find like my best friend the landing page. Thank you.
No, I'm sorry. Okay, the timer rang. I'm sorry. So thank you so much, Lulu. Your book is amazing. I have it too.
Thank you.
And yes, it is. It's a very interesting book because it's non-traditional in the sense that it's not just a story, it's a story and kind of like a journal at the same time. And I think it's an excellent way to introduce your children on how to journal because it's very subtle, the way that you're asking and the prompts. So it's a beautiful book and it's big. So it's just beautiful. Okay. So Thank you, Lulu. And you can find her book on the landing page. Okay, so next we're going to go with Yesenia.
Hi.
And your minute starts now.
Okay, I'm Yesenia, and this is my book, Lonnie Ray's Marvelous Hair. So you can see it here, El Cabello Maravilloso de Lonnie Ray. This is a story inspired by my daughter. It's a story about a little girl with a lot of hair and her best friend. And when she finds out that her friend is sick, she wants to do something to help her. So it is a story that touches on the difficult subject of childhood cancer. And it introduces hair donation to children and how they can help spread kindness even with the smallest gestures. So you could find my book on my website, English and Spanish in hardcover. And use the promo code Holiday Book Fair for free shipping. Everything's discounted right now. You can also find it on Amazon, an ebook and paperback. Yeah, so please follow me on Instagram if you want to keep up or if you have any questions on Lonnie Ray's Marvelous Hair.
Wow, you get the award for under a minute.
Thank you.
You guys are going to hear a timer. I actually started a timer. Okay, so then our next one, raise your hand if who wants to go next. Okay, Evis, and then we'll go to Candace. Okay, so you're going to hear the timer. Hold on. Did you hear that? Okay, so now I'm gonna, when you hear that, that means wrap it up. Like, and I don't mean 30-second wrap up. I mean like say bye. Okay, so Evis Ramirez, here, you're still muted. Okay, I'm gonna set it. Talk to us about your book, the title and what it's about.
My book is a food journal, also is a book. It's called Flavor of Glory. I'm a dietitian, and my purpose is to give you a tool to improve your health and your wealth. Health is within your reach, especially in these circumstances that we are all in. Your health is your wealth. You need to become the best version of yourself. And here is the guide that you need to. It's a food journal. It has 12 different sections that teach you about nutrition, how to sleep, how to improve your gastrointestinal health, how to lose weight. Is everything in here. We are going to make a new Facebook group, Flavor of Glory, and definitely health is within your reach, is possible. You can be the best version of yourself. Help me be by your side in your health journey. We want to be and help you.
Awesome. And you have 3 seconds. 3. There you go. Okay.
Awesome.
Thank you so much, Evis.
You're
And
welcome.
now we move on to Candace Pedraza in 1 minute. Tell us who you are and what your book is about.
Candace Pedraza Yamnitz, and I write YA fantasy. I am half Puerto Rican, half Mexican. I used to be a dual language teacher, so everything you guys were saying was right spot on. And I decided to write Unbetrothed. I don't have the book with me because it comes out in February, but you can pre-order it. And it is about a deadly oath, a forbidden valley, and a quest for magic. I really loved Disney movies. I just never saw myself in them. I never saw my culture in them. So I decided to write my own sort of princess movie. And I wrote it about self-worth, a girl who has everything, but she thinks she has nothing because she's lacking that one thing. So as I was writing, I kind of dove into that story arc and how she discovers that she does have worth and that she doesn't have to kind of, some teenagers, because I used to mentor teenagers, they sometimes act out because they feel like they're not good enough. So they have to compensate.
Okay.
Yeah. Is that the time?
That was the timer, but thank you so much. How many pages is like a novel you said? So how many pages is it?
I think it's 298 pages. It's
Oh, wow.
definitely a teen book. That's definitely different from the other ones in that way.
Okay, who wants to go next? Okay, Tanya. Tanya, you're new to our group, right? A lot of these authors were in our event last year, but you're new. So welcome. Muchas gracias. Thank you so much. And
yeah, my gratitude to you. Thank you. I am so thrilled to be here. Yes, Tania Montaz Paris. Soy dominicana. I am a teacher and a writer. I explore different genre. I explore poetry, adult fiction, children poetry, fictional picture books. The book that I'm here, and I'm also the author of the little series A Leer, which is a series of books, picture books for babies. I am here today showcasing my poetry book for children. I found a poem under my pillow, which is a collection of 25 poems. You will meet this cute little girl who takes you by the hand and invites you to walk alongside her as she captures her feelings, her emotions, her adventures, her observations of her everyday life. It's a book about affirmation.
Okay.
Who we are.
So sorry, but you know what? This is actually a really good exercise because it's like an elevator pitch. And when you meet people like at events, blah, 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 it's so good to have like a 30-second to a 1-minute quick pitch. What is your book about? You know, you kind of want to have a concise like spiel. So this is a good exercise to get that spiel down. So that way they're like, wow, it's about this, 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 this. So muchas gracias, Tania, for that.
Okay.
We have Elvira, and then we'll do Natalia and then Elizabeth. So, okay, Elvira, I'm so sorry if this buzzer sounds so rude, but okay.
Okay, well, hello, I'm Elvira Ormseth, and I'm from Nicaragua. Thank you so much for having me. This is my book, Tibu the Little Bull Shark. It's a wonderful book for young children to learn about the beauty and the magic of kindness. And I am so happy to let you know that I'm presently collaborating with WKNO here in Memphis. And my book is gonna be part of a science project, as well as to teach children how to be kind in the classroom. And thank you so much. And I want to wish you all a very happy holiday season.
Oh, wow. That was 30 seconds. Muchas gracias, Elvira.
Thank you.
Awesome. Okay, so now we're going to go to Natalia. Natalia, talk to us about Kai, the missionary sea turtle.
Hola, hi, I'm Natalia Sepulveda. I'm from Puerto Rico, and I published Kai the Missionary Sea Turtle, Kai la Tortuga Marina Misionera. It's a Christian book that teaches children in English and Spanish the colors, the animals, and the instruments. It teaches children about missions. I'm really passionate about missions, and I felt that most bilingual Christian books that are out there about Christmas or Easter, and I felt there wasn't one about this subject. And I really have a calling, my family has a calling for this field, to be in the missionary field. And I felt that it would be necessary to explain to children what mission is all about. It also has a bilingual map at the end, and I just got Kai, the stuffed animal. It's a wonderful way to learn English and Spanish and be able to raise our children bilingual and Christian at the same time. I'm also a translator, children's book translator and editor. And I've worked with Yesenia on her book as well as the Nani, right?
Wow.
That's a pleasure to meet you all.
Okay, muchas gracias, Natalia. I can't find Christine Osorio, who's supposed to be on here. I'm trying to find her.
I'm here.
I see her.
Okay, yeah, because I pinned you, but I don't see you.
Oh, because I pinned, well, it's pinned on my end.
Oh, I see you. I see you now.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to go with Natalia. Wait, no, we just did Natalia. We're going to go with Elizabeth, and then we'll go to you, Cristina, okay? So
Hi. Thank you for inviting me. It was excellent. I'm talking about my books. I had more than 12 or 13 books published. The book that we're talking about today is Trucando, the HubSpot. It's a book, it's a collection of songs, play games, and children's story from Dominican Republic. And this is a wonderful opportunity in Christmas time because the family is together to share with the family at any time. Also, there has a brief description how the game are, how they're playing the games. And also, I had the belief that the cuckoo is the boogeyman. And also Carnival, that this is part of the tradition, and this is some of my books that I have. Thank you so much. I have my website and Instagram. If whatever you want to order, contact me. Thank you for the wonderful opportunity to share with you. Thank you.
Wow, you are literally exactly 1 minute. Muchas gracias. Okay, Christine, you are last but not least. Talk to us about who you are and your book.
Awesome. I love it. Okay. My name is Christina Sorry. I'm from the Bronx, New York, and I'm Honduran American mom. I'm also help entrepreneurs how to market and brand themselves. I'm super excited to be here, obviously, but really wanted to share one of the books that I created last year. It's called Rosalia the Honduran American. It's in both Spanish and English. And one of the reasons why I created the book was honestly because I didn't see myself as a Central American within my community in the Bronx or even in books, right? It's why a lot of us are here today. So my goal was really to, as a mom, was really to showcase my kids. And I feel like I have this calling to create more Honduras books and to show other children within Central American and really just to embrace their culture and love. So that's what really the book is about, is embracing how to embrace your culture, how to embrace who you are wherever you are. So yeah, Rosalia the Honduran American.
Muchas gracias. And the buzzer's about to buzz. There you go. Exactly 1 minute. So sorry about that rude buzzer, but I think we can really squeeze in a lot in 1 minute. We really wanted to include as many authors as possible. And this was the only way we could do it, giving all of you guys 1 minute to talk about your books. But they are all available on the landing page that Andrea so graciously created, spent a lot of her time creating that on her own free time. So muchas gracias. Thank you everyone for being here. This is the end of the Latinx or Latina Authors Virtual Holiday Book Fair. Andrea, is there anything else you would like to add before we say goodbye to everybody?
Well, I would like to thank everybody, authors and the audience, for being here. Again, this is a very, very exciting event. We put a lot of effort putting it together. It takes time and it takes coordination. Again, with 28 authors here tonight. And it's a fantastic way for you as an audience to learn from us, to learn the stories behind the stories, to learn about all these amazing books. Look at the diversity we have in age, age level, titles. I mean, it's incredible. So please visit the landing page and just look at that. You can learn more about us. Go to our website, follow us on Instagram to keep in touch. And also remember that these discounts that you see here in the landing page are exclusive for you for being here tonight. So thank you for hanging in here with us. Most of the people stay here connected through the 2 hours that this event lasted. So it's pretty telling of how interesting and amazing it has been. So thank you so much, everybody, and have a good night.
Thank you. Really quick, I also want to thank you guys and encourage you to sign up to our Latina Authors group. It's a private group, but you don't have to be an author. You could just be a teacher or a mom or anyone in bilingual education that wants to learn and support bilingual authors. It's a good, I think, platform where we can share resources and support each other. So please, join the Latina Authors Facebook group. And if you don't know where to find it, you can inbox me at Naive Reynoso or at Con Todo Press. Muchas gracias todas, bellas mujeres. Muchas gracias y éxito. Happy holidays.
Gracias. Adiós.
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 Adiós. Muchas gracias.
Adiós. Gracias.